are my babies.
Hi.
These are my babies.
Hi. You say.
I love them so much.
What are you?
This is for YouTube. Say hi, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
YouTube. Say hi, YouTube.
You know what I'm gonna say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? That ain't that what we're supposed to do. I'm not saying I'm gonna rule the world or I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
Ashe, beautiful souls. It's the Sacred Empress back with another YouTube video, you guys. And today I'm gonna be answering some questions because I personally feel I don't present myself as a spiritual guide the way that I'm supposed to. I feel like my YouTube has been a lot of celebrity readings and not enough about me and pick a card readings and readings, period. I want to take a new approach to the way that I make my content on YouTube. So y'all bear with me. Y'all bear with me and go on this journey with me if you really fuck with me. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into these questions because I asked on Instagram for you guys to put some questions in the little Q&A box, and I did get some questions and I'm gonna answer them today. So feel free to stick around, enjoy the show, grab some popcorn, grab some weed, grab some shrooms, grab something, okay? And keep watching because we about to get into it, period. I have my handy dandy iPad here and I'm gonna go through and answer y'all's questions. So the first question that I have: what would you recommend for someone who is trying to get in touch with their power? I think the biggest thing, and I stress this all the time, is meditation. I feel like if you really want to tap in with your gifts, your powers, your abilities, meditate, see what comes through. And when I say meditate, I mean meditate on that specifically. You know, meditate on what your gifts are. Meditate on how you can utilize your gifts. Also meditate on your power. You know, do you have special powers? Do you have special abilities? Who are you in that area? You know, so meditation's key. Y'all probably gonna hear me say meditation for a lot of these questions, but meditation really does help a lot. Meditation does not have to simply be you sitting still. It could be anything that helps stimulate your mind. Reading, writing, dancing, singing, drawing, painting, so on and so forth. So for example, if you wanted to meditate on your psychic abilities and you're an artist, then you can draw out what your abilities may be. You may draw out some fire. Pyrokinesis, you may be able to use fire to your advantage. You may be able to manipulate fire, I guess I should say. And if you draw something like water or you draw something, you know, it doesn't matter what it is that you draw, but I think what spirit always shows me is symbols. So I always look at symbols as, you know, something that I have to interpret and not looking at it as, oh, it's this. You may draw a spider and you may be like, what the fuck? What am I supposed to do with spiders? Spiders are a resemblance of wisdom, you know? So you can look at it that way, like, oh, okay, I may be able to tap into Akashic records. I may be able to, you know, read people without knowing them. That type of thing. It varies. I feel like everyone is different in how they access their gifts, but I think that one of the biggest things, you know, is meditating and really getting in tune with yourself. So once you build a relationship with yourself, you'll really start to unravel a lot of, you know, your gifts, things like that. So for me, my gifts are always present. I was always like psychic, you know, like I always had that ability. So for me, it was never something that I questioned. It was just a simple fact of, could I read for other people? Because I was able to predict stuff. And I was doing that so well to a point that when I did start doing tarot readings, immediately people were blown away. And it scared me because I was like, I've never read cards before. Like, what? What you mean? What you mean this resonates with you? I don't even know the meaning of these cards. I'm just making lucky guesses, I guess, you know? But it depends. Everybody's different. But I think I've covered that question enough. So we're going to move on to the next one. Okay. Next question. When you realized your abilities, did you test tarot readings on others? I did. Now, I already knew I was psychic prior to touching my tarot cards. Like, I got my tarot cards a couple years ago. When I tell y'all I went and got my deck and I never put it down. Ever. But I did. That's exactly how I started. Because I had a group chat with a whole bunch of people in there that were into spirituality, and I messaged them. I was like, hey, does anybody want a tarot reading? I want to practice and see, you know, if I really got it like that. I just got the cards. So how do I have it like that? I just got the cards. So that was something that was fun because I got to practice on other people in the beginning portion, like my family, like my brother. I was like, you wanna do a tarot reading? And he's like, what is that? What the fuck is a tarot reading? So I did it on him for the first time. He was like, what? Pull another card. Pull another card. Pull another card. Like, I think he was obsessed. G, if you were watching this, you are obsessed. And I'm glad you haven't been coming to me for readings, because you used to come to me a lot for them. I'm just kidding. All right, next question. How can we call on our ancestors for help if we are just beginning? As our ancestors, spirit guides, are here to help assist us on our journey. They've always been with us, and I think that's something that I just find so fascinating. It's like they don't just show up when we start our spiritual journey. They've always been there. They've always been helping you. They've always been giving you signs and things like that. So calling on them is not hard. Something that I always tell people to say, especially if they're just getting into, like, you know, ancestral work, is to say, spirit guides, ancestors, known and unknown, my name is blank, and then you go up from there. Introduce yourself. You know what I'm saying? Introduce yourself to them, because you want to make it formal. I feel like for humans, you know, we're used to physical things. We're used to physical people, like not people that we can't see. So the best thing that I would say to do is to introduce yourself to them. That way you feel like, okay, I've introduced myself to you guys. Now introduce yourselves to me. And when I did that, I asked for a name, and I ended up getting a name for one of my spirit guides. I said this in one of my other videos, but I probably deleted that. I delete my videos, and I'm going to stop doing that too. I'm done deleting my videos. I'm going to post and go, and I'm going to be consistent, and I'm going to really be on my YouTube shit, because I've really been slacking.
Yeah, I.
On your ancestors is not hard, so don't make it hard. Don't make it hard on yourself. Just be like, ancestors, if y'all can hear me, please give me a sign. Show me a blue flower if y'all are with me. Show me a red rose if y'all are with me. Or show me a red rose if I'm going to get this car. Show me a butterfly if I'm on the right track. You know, saying things like that, asking for symbols, can also help you strengthen your relationship with them. For the next question, this person wanted to know, there's a black door with bright purple light around it, and they've been trying to get through it, and how do they get in? What I got from that intuitively, they're probably in the process of having a third eye awakening. I think the best thing to do is to not force your third eye open. Just kind of, I don't know. Maybe you're in the process of getting through, but it's not time right now. So I would say to just keep doing what you're doing. I feel like you'll get through when it's time. Maybe it's just kind of an indication that you're on the right path. You just got to get through some more things before you break that. It seems like you're breaking a chain of sorts, like you're breaking through something. I think with the bright purple light, that could be symbolic to your crown or your third eye chakra. Hopefully you got some clarity from that. Next, someone asked, is tarot easier to read or playing cards? I personally don't use playing cards. I never use them. I have them, but I don't use them. Tarot's easier for me because I've been practicing with tarot. So I think it really just depends on what you start using. You know, like if you start using tarot and then you start using playing cards, I don't think it's going to be that much of a difference, because you can kind of transfer tarot over to the playing cards in some way. I know some people like say that they're the same in a way. So they may be the same. I don't know. I never really used them to know. So I can't necessarily say. I just can speak for, you know, utilizing tarot cards. It's easy for me because there's pictures. I'm a visual person. With playing cards, there are pictures, but they're not pictures, you know. So with these things, I could flip this over and tell you exactly what this means. But with a playing card, I probably need more context because I'm not really sure, you know, how that works. So can't really give you a lot of insight on that, but I hope that I gave you a little bit of something. So the next question someone asked was, how do you know which power is like your main one? Can you have more than one? Now, I just finished studying psychic skills, and I'm under the impression that you can have more than one gift. You just may have a gift that's more powerful than others. So kind of have your strengths and you have your weaknesses in that aspect. So I think with that, it depends. Some people have, you know, like for me for example, I have all the clairs, but my clairaudience and my clairsentience and my clairvoyance are stronger than the others, you know. So I feel more, I see more, and I hear more, but in those other aspects, I may not have the greatest control over those abilities. You'll know which gift is the strongest when you're able to control it. You know, you're able to use it to your own advantage. Sometimes our gifts come in waves. Sometimes our gifts only come, you know, in a situation where it's needed. And then there are other times where we're able to use that gift for whatever reason we want to use it for. But yeah, you can have more than one gift. And how to know which power is the strongest, like I said, I think is when you have a good control over it. You can turn it on and off as you please. I think that would be an indication that that's the strongest gift that you have. Next, someone said, when you started doing tarot. I started doing tarot back in 2019. Yeah. 2019, 2020. So I've been reading tarot for approximately 2 to 3 years. How old am I? I'm 21. I was born June 19th. And yeah, that answers that question. I'm 21 years old. A lot of people say I'm not 21 because I may look younger or older, or I sound older and look younger, but I'm 21 years old. 21. 2-1. That's it. That's all. Next question is, would you love to do collaborations with other readers? And my answer to that is hell yeah. I would love to collaborate with other tarot readers. I'm working on a deck right now. Once I finish all my goals and got everything out the way and I have more room to bring other people into, you know, my craft, then I would love to. I'm just not looking to force anything. You know, I want it to be genuine. I want it to be mutual. I want it to be, we both want to do this thing. But yeah, I would love to collab. So if anybody out there wants to collab with me, just let me know. Just let me know. You can DM me. I'm literally a stranger to nobody. So feel free to reach out if you would like to collab, because I'm open to collaborations. We could do like events. We can do a lot of things. We can do lives. We can do collectives together. It don't matter to me because I'm open to everything. So if you guys are tarot readers, Reiki healers, Akashic record readers, astrologers, I really don't care what you do. And I'm not saying that like I don't give a fuck. I'm saying that like I don't care what you do, I'll collab with you. Do you have any new music on the way? I do, but I need to go back in the studio and re-record some things. I can sing at home and I'll be like, ooh girl, that sounds good. But the moment I get in the studio, I don't know what the fuck happens. But yes, I do have music. It has not dropped yet. So go stream, go away by me. And get those streaming. What is it? I don't know. I'm still new to the whole music scene. So go stream, go away, please. Thank you. What's one thing that 2022 taught you? Can I just go on a tangent real quick and say that 2022 was definitely a setback year. I made a lot of stupid decisions. I wasted a lot of time, wasted a lot of money. I will say that 2022 blessed me in a lot of ways. And I also feel like I self-sabotaged a lot this year. Last year too, to be honest. I feel like I didn't do as much as I knew I could do in 2022. So 2022 definitely taught me how to rest, because I never allowed myself to rest. And then another thing would be to use discernment and to just trust my intuition and to never set aside my personal needs and wants for someone else's. I could go into more, but I may do a separate video on that because I really like this question. So thank you for this question, boo. Any tips for self-love, the journey of self-discovery? It's a journey. I feel like it's never ending because you're always going to be with yourself until the day that you die. So it's constantly going to be a journey of you learning yourself and you unlearning things about yourself as well. Like, you know, take your time. If it's something that, you know, you really love doing, you love understanding yourself, you love exploring yourself and, you know, loving yourself, then it'll be more worthwhile. But if you're doing it with a sense of angst and I have to do this for myself, I have to take care of myself, I have to bathe, I have to shower, I have to do this, I have to do that, then you need to unpack whatever that is. There's some reflecting that needs to be done. Journaling's great. Finding a happy medium to express yourself is also great. So I like to paint, as y'all can see. I love to paint. Taking time out for yourself is so important. Taking yourself out on dates, buying yourself things. It's all a part of the journey. So just do it. So next is, what's your take on spells? Should people be doing spell work, especially loved ones? We got free will. So people can do whatever they want to do. Me personally, I do spell work for money. I do spell work for enhancing certain things in my life. I've been doing a lot of mirror work recently with myself, like as far as beauty goes. So if y'all start to see me look like more like a goddess, then that's why. If somebody's sending you negative energy, you can send it back. If it has something to do with another person, like a love interest, I think as long as that person is aware, then I think that that's fine. But I feel like if you're forcing somebody to love you using spell work, it's gonna backfire. So I think that with spell work, you can do it, but just be ready for the consequences that come with it, especially for people that don't even know what they're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, just don't do it. Just if you don't know what you're doing, don't be doing it. Like don't do stuff and you don't know what you're doing. And intentions are so important. Like I said, you could do it, but those consequences, you better be ready for them. Especially if you don't know what you're doing or you're doing something you ain't got no business doing. So that's my take on that. I am not against spell work. I think that it's great. I think that a lot of beautiful things can come from it. I think that people need to study and learn and understand the concept of things before they just start doing shit. Start throwing stuff together that don't even supposed to be going together. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing. Someone wanted to know about Aries and Cancer in marriage. Now, I'm no astrologer. I love astrology, but I'm not an astrologer. I don't consider myself an astrologer as of right now. I feel like I got a lot more to learn before I can give myself that badge of honor. But with Aries and Cancer, I feel like I personally cannot answer that question because I don't know enough about the signs to be like, oh, they may be like this, they may be like that. I just feel like it's a situation that I feel like both signs are sensitive. And I don't say that because I'm like, oh, they're sensitive. Like, I think they're very delicate individuals. And I feel like they may understand each other a lot better. They may have a lot that they can relate to. You know, they may be able to relate and bond a little bit. But I don't know. I feel like all signs, you know, they have their own way of expressing themselves. And then to add to that, we got a whole natal chart. So it may not just be the sun sign that we have to look at. It may be a house that we need to look at, or, you know, transits that need to be looked at. So I can't really give you a full synopsis of what this would look like because I feel like we'd have to look at the full natal chart to get an actual analysis on what that would, you know, really bring to the surface. Because like I said, I'm not an astrologer, but I know that it's not just the sun sign that we got to look at when it comes to compatibility. And then someone else wanted to know how to know your zodiac sign. So your zodiac sign is based off your birthday. There is different forms of astrology. So we have sidereal or sidereal. I hate saying sidereal. It just sounds weird to me, so I say sidereal. And then we got tropical. We got draconic. We got so many different forms of astrology. We also have Vedic astrology as well. So to know your zodiac sign, you must know your date of birth, the location that you were born at, and your birth time. Your birth time determines your moon, your rising, and your houses, and even degrees too. That's how you know. So you can really just, if you know your birthday, you know your zodiac sign. If you want to know your full natal chart, then that's where you'll have to, you know, have a little bit more information. If you just want to know your sun sign, then you just got to know your birthday. So if you were born May 19th, then you're a Gemini. If you were born April 5th, then you're an Aries. So that's basically the gist of zodiac signs and whatnot. So contact this great spellcaster for... Yo, why do people comment that in my comments? Like, I feel like it's just a copy and paste. I just wanted to read that for the hell of it. That's interesting. Do people get hacked and that's just shit that just comes out of their account? Like, they just get hacked? Or do people make fake accounts and post this stuff? How did I grow my following? So, as you guys know, I have like 19.3K on Instagram. I'm not going to boast about it and be like, oh yeah, I got 19.3K on this shit. Because I feel like until I have 1 million, I can't really boast. Because the goal ain't 19.3K. The goal is at least 1 million people. I want to help 1 million people. That's my logic. If I could plant a seed of healing and love and nurturance into 1 million people, I feel like the world could be a better place potentially. But that's the goal. The goal is 1 million. Okay? Remember this. Mark my words. I'm going to come back to this video and be like, yeah, I made it to 1 million. So the goal is to reach millions of people and help them on their healing journey. Mark my words. It's going to happen. It's going to come into fruition, period. So how did I grow my following? So it's actually really weird because I didn't make the account with the intention of this, like spirituality, things like that, because the account originally was for my writing account. Well, it was my writing account for Wattpad. So if you don't know me from Wattpad, then you know me from Instagram. If you don't know me from Instagram, you know me from Twitter. If you don't know me from Twitter, then you probably actually know me, or you don't. But with Instagram, I was really just posting my writing stuff on there. I was like, I want to post spiritual content. Like, I wanted to post information about chakras, manifestation, meditation, cleansing. Like, I wanted to post about all of that because that was me. That was my life. Like, that's what I did. So I wanted to talk about it aside from Wattpad, because on Wattpad, I wrote a book about spirituality and stuff like that, but didn't have like a actual page where people could come to me about spirituality. So that's why I made my account what it is now, because of that book that I wrote. And people usually message me and they're like, hey, I read your book. Could you help me with this? Or I want to understand this a little bit better. So that's really why I made the account, because people from Wattpad wanted more information about the book, or wanted information or wanted my take about things. So I just made that account because I was like, I'm not really writing that much, so I might as well transfer everything over on Instagram. So I posted a lot of memes. I posted a lot of informational like posts, things like that. Posted horoscopes and stuff like that. So people just kind of tuned in. I used hashtags, so that helped a ton. But I didn't really do anything crazy. I just posted consistently, used my hashtags, and went live as much as I could. I was on YouTube as well, so YouTube also helped in boosting my, my following. It just all went hand in hand, honestly. And I think that with a lot of like, the tweets that I made, the threads that I made, it just got a lot of attention. SZA posted me on her story one time, so that also helped me gain followers, because I think she helped me gain like over a few thousand followers, just for posting my I think it was a horoscope that she posted. So yeah, that's how I grew my following. Didn't really do anything crazy. I feel like it was very organic because I built it up from 0 up to what it is now. So that's great. Someone said, my birthday is 12/12 and I really want to do a birthday ritual and spend the day celebrating, loving myself and my spiritual growth. Do you have any tips for me? This will be my first birthday ritual. Include all elements. That's usually my take. So it's that simple. That's how I put it. It's that simple. So have something to resemble earth, which will help ground you. That could be a crystal, that could be herbs, that could be flowers. People usually just cling to crystals. So you could get a bracelet, you could get a necklace, you could just have like a crystal, just a crystal, no amulets, no bracelets, just a crystal. Or the herbs or oils. It's up to you to decide what you want to use to represent earth. Water, so a bath of sorts. So taking a cleansing bath, you can put the herbs in the bath if you want to. Just to cleanse. Water is cleansing. Having fire to help you release. So you could burn something. You could burn a candle and set the intention with the candle, whatever it is you want to bring into your life. I feel like fire is an enforcer. So you can use that to help set intentions and to bring certain energies into your life, and also to help you release. And then air, incense, is going to help cleanse as well. It's going to cleanse things spiritually. So cleansing out negative energy, cleansing out things like that. So, and also the ether. And the ether is going to consist, wait, did I say everything? Yeah, I think I did say everything. I just didn't say the ether. So with the ether, that's spirituality. So you could do a prayer. You can talk to your ancestors, spirit guides. You can communicate with your higher self. Maybe if you have cards, you can read some cards and get some insight on this next chapter of your life, things like that. Your birthday's coming up soon, so happy birthday. I think your birthday's tomorrow, actually. So yeah, happy birthday. Someone asked, when we chant, affirm, manifest, or whatever using I am or I have, do you ever feel scared? Like, what if what I want isn't what I need? Like praying for desires versus praying for God's will, highest good. I don't feel scared. I think I usually tell God anyways, like, what you have for me, I'm open to it. I'm receptive to it. I do want these things, but I'm also receptive to what you have for me. So I've never been scared. I feel like we don't ask for enough. So I think that with that, God feels as though we sell ourselves short. So I always tell God, like, whatever you have in store for me, I'm open to it. I'm receptive. Like, however God wants to use me, I will allow God to use me in that way, because God knows better than I. And I can't assume that I know what's best for me when God may have something set out for me that's greater than what I could even imagine. So I don't get scared. I just feel like, you can have the best of both worlds. You can also have the things that you want and still be able to, live out what God has intended for you. Next question: how to embrace your gifts versus telling the wrong people and feeling isolated / crazy. Embracing your gifts, I think, it's a little challenging because our gifts are seen as taboo. It's seen as a sin. It's not even seen as a sin. Some people say, and somebody told me this, that my psychic abilities were a curse. I didn't like that. It just didn't resonate with me. I don't feel that my abilities are cursed. I feel like my abilities are a gift. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been granted these abilities. I wouldn't be able to help the way that I've been able to help people if it wasn't for my gifts and abilities. I wouldn't have been able to, love myself the way that I love myself and the way that I cater to myself if it wasn't for my abilities. I wouldn't have been able to meet a lot of great people if it wasn't for my abilities. So I don't look at my abilities, my gifts, my psychic, whatever. I don't look at that as a bad thing. I never looked at it as, something that sets me apart from other people, because in hindsight, we all got these abilities. We just choose to tap into it. So I think that embracing it is acknowledging that this is a part of who you are, and you get to embrace it. You got every right to embrace it, regardless of how people feel about it. I feel like we have to come to a place where we stop allowing people to define us. We stop giving people the power to validate us and tell us who we are. You know what I'm saying? So I think that embracing your gifts is really you taking your power back, honestly. So hope that made some sense. All right, so the use of cannabis, pros and cons in your life or in your view. I remember I experienced that weed was helping my ascension, but at a certain point it needed to go. Astrorome is like a club with no security. I like that. Anybody and everything up in there. But now, several years later, I'm in a different place, and I can't tell if it's like even good for me at this point. Next, thinking I wanted to do mushroom teas and powders and whatnot. Apparently, they're good for the brain. So yeah, thoughts or personal experience with 420 and other mood-altering thingies as it relates to spirituality, but also just in general is the question. Love that. I love that you asked me multiple questions. Hopefully you watch this video so that you can see my answers to them. So to answer your question about cannabis, the pros and cons, I think the pros are, for me, they help me clear my mind. Like, it helps clear my mind, literally. Like, I'll smoke and I won't think about anything. And sometimes that scares me because as a Gemini, like, my mind's always running a mile a minute. So when my mind's super clear, I get very skeptical about things. Like, I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So that's a pro for me. Another pro is that it relaxes me. I'm somebody that is very stressed. Like, I'm usually stressed. Like, I've been stressed a lot of my life. I've gone through a lot. So it really brings me a lot of peace. And it helps me with stress. So it helps me balance, those things out. Now the cons, sometimes I'm sluggish. Sometimes I don't want to do anything. Sometimes I'll go straight to sleep. Sometimes I don't know how to really interact socially when I'm high. So that's a con for me. Another con is that I get hungry. And the only reason why that's a con is because I'm a binge eater. I have a binge eating disorder. So weed does not help my binge eating disorder. And that's another reason why I have to eat before I smoke, so that I'm not as hungry when I'm, coming down. So as far as my view on that, I feel like use it, but don't abuse it. And that's really all I gotta say. Use it, but don't abuse it. And another thing I've been using is ashwagandha. I haven't been taking it as much because I was working a job, and it just kind of I felt like a rock. I felt like I had no real nothing. Like, I didn't feel anything with the ashwagandha. So I don't know if I want to go back to taking those, because I like to feel, and I feel like I have to feel as a part of my journey is I have to personally feel things, because I know that for me, I spent my whole life not feeling shit. So I have to give myself the opportunity to feel now that I'm aware of my issues. But I think that's it for the questions, y'all. I think that's it. I think that is everything. thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching me. I appreciate you. I love you. And I hope that y'all tune back in for my next video. Sacral Empress signing out. Don't forget to hydrate, meditate, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. I'm gonna put you in your place. You gonna have to go away.